Okay.
On your lead.
Sweet. Hello again. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us again. We're halfway through the 6th episode of Season 3 of the Whiteboard Game podcast. We're currently talking about our favourite albums. We've had a lot of fun doing so. We're going to continue having a lot of fun in this next hour or so. We look forward to sharing that fun with you. So without further ado, here we go.
Ooh.
So, I didn't prepare for this next one. I remind myself of...
He was too worried about making bars instead of getting his answer in.
This was a pretty ambient one. An interesting one. I didn't know what was going on. It reminded me a bit of a soundtrack from a game we've both played called Machinarium, the composer of which I think his name is Thomas Forjak.
Yes.
And whether it's that game or not, I don't know. It might be. I know he's done a few different ones with the games company Amanita Design, I think is their name.
Yeah. Amazing studio. Amazing studio.
Question was truly a banging game for us BBC bite-sized boys. Anyways, I thought that quite an eloquent title would be "And the Pipes Sing."
Oh, that's lovely.
Felt fairly machinarium-y
really
as well. I need to replay that game.
Machinarium's so good, man.
Ambient. It felt pretty ambient.
Yeah.
2009, I think that's when Machinarium was made. And I think they've got some other games in and around that time that they made as well. Botanicula, perhaps.
Botanicula, for me, is also up there, by the way. It's gorgeous.
And let me hastily put in a positioning. I'm going to guess one that's actually in your top 100 this time, so I feel like Machinarium probably is. So I'm going to guess number 91.
You are unfortunate in that you would have got the point if you had gone 100 lower. You have 1 point.
Okay.
This is a bit unfair because I don't know if you would have gotten it, but we are now getting into this half for me is now the I actually have new things to talk about half. Much to your hopeful and entertainment.
Yippee.
This is an ambient artist called Approaching Mountains. This track is called Mossophonics. That's a lovely title, I think.
Yeah, that's cool.
Released in 2023. He's very active, very recent. I had ambient drone nature recordings. Ranks 190th off an album called Ley, Ley. It is. I've listened to maybe I am Approaching Mountains pilled. I've done 4 of his releases. I think he's Lithuania based,
cool.
Which is fun. But what I can say is from the 4 albums I've listened to, freakishly consistent. You've got a bit of a spoon situation on your hands where there isn't a bad release. But for me, Ley, it does stand out as being particularly special. I think my standards for ambient music, I'm such a snob with Yoshimura, I admit it. I value his stuff so untouchably high that I feel I need to be quite impressed for it to even get close to the Yoshimura standard, and I'm quite impressed by this album. It just achieves a lot. And it's difficult to necessarily describe what's good about an ambient album because it doesn't work in the same way as other music. But it is, I think it's really enjoyable. I think what made it quite scenic is that I was trying to find, for the first time, a new tuition appointments house. And it was on one of the days recently, which was about 33, 34 degrees. And you've got this album art of a big sort of like water tower, cooling tower, whatever it is. And then ambient music, and it's, you know, the warm weather where there isn't a single cloud in the sky. It's just a blue canvas, and it is beating down on you, and you're a bit lost. And it all just felt very atmospheric. It was good.
Nice.
There you go. That's my first new shout. That's probably the hardest one of the game. So you've got through that. You can breathe a sigh of relief. 1 point to you.
Cool.
The Fred Bloyd list playing in clutch once again.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
You're welcome.
I have not heard of them.
But if you want to expand your ambient range, now you have. For this one, I'm going to put my hands up. I've been shameless with this one. Because this track opens with someone saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, Michael McDonald. You're number 6."
Mm-hmm.
And so when I say I've been shameless, who I've put as the artist is hoping to scrounge a half point is Michael McDonald. Because he shows up. He does show up.
Does.
One of my favourite white men who sounds like they're not white. One of my favourites. I said it was called As Long As Love, in brackets, Lies Waiting. I said it straddles that line that I often get confused between of R&B and soul. It's one of them. But if you think I'm cheating by putting both, you're allowed to say that. I will accept it. I said I genuinely didn't know what album this would be off of, so there's no logic. I just said 130th.
You put a year?
Have I put a year? I haven't put a year.
The year 130.
Not much has changed, but they live underwater.
Literally not even close.
Okay, it sounded a bit more modern than perhaps the prime Michael McDonald stuff, and maybe he is just a featuring artist. So let's say 2012.
Okay. 1 point for you.
No. You telling me that wasn't Michael McDonald?
I tried to tactically. It is Michael. 1.5.
No, Chris. I have copped that one out. You don't need to give it to me.
Well, I mean, it is Michael McDonald.
It's your choice.
Not as the artist, but he's featuring. You get 1.5 points, and you don't ask more questions.
Okay.
I feel guilty because I have been cheeky in that I've. This is quite. If I played you any song by this artist and they were singing, you'd recognise it. So I had to make it a bit harder. So
is it me?
Part of the no. So the one part of this extract where the person you're hearing the actual artist is when they're introducing Michael McDonald.
Mm-hmm.
The artist is Thundercat.
Oh, what a lovely collaboration. That's so cool. The
track is called Show You the Way. Rate Your Music said Neo Soul. I can see that. I was putting R&B because it felt like R&B. As you say, it straddles that line. 2017, because it's off of his album Drunk, which is currently sitting at number 99 for me. It's on the precipice.
Just hanging on.
I do. I think it almost sort of ties back into what I was saying about Logos by Atlas Sound, in that it's an album which I wouldn't necessarily say is lauded, to be, a really highly rated album. It's not a poorly rated one, but it's, one of those ones where it's not sort of in those debates, of best albums. Not close. But it's one of those ones where I found that it's just, I feel like you get those albums sometimes where you just listen to it and it's like the album gets you, because it just hits you immediately. You're like, I really like this. And I think it's quite rare to have that. Normally we have to listen to things a few times to really, get it ingrained in your mind, and really appreciate what's going on with the track as well, and the album. And I found that whilst the album's generally a bit up and down consistency wise, I think the vibes are always there. And so I find that it's quite an enjoyable album to listen to back to front. And this leads me on to mentioning he's got a new album out, which I have listened to.
Hey.
Some of the songs I like off of it. I quite liked it. I'll have to listen to it a bit more to truly figure out my opinion on it. But I did find similarities between that and Drunk in terms of it's fun, there's a good vibe to it. It felt like it had a similar consistency as well. So if you're into some of your Thundercat stuff, you like some of his features, give it a go. His new stuff's pretty good too. But I think Drunk's underrated personally. Good album, good vibes. Would recommend.
I would always say, and you've basically said this yourself just now, Thundercat just seems like one of the very fun artists to me. Like when we go to a live show and we say to each other, "Oh, it's so lovely to look at this musician on stage," because you can tell how much they're enjoying it. I feel like you listen to Thundercat's music and you can tell he's just really enjoying making it.
Absolutely, yeah. He's and in interviews I've watched with him, he's really fun, and just a very funny guy. Seems very chill. Underwent a massive weight loss as well. It was a big kudos to him. He's in really good shape. I'm going to try and actually prepare typing in which position I think that your next extract is on before I type it in.
Lock him in, folks. This is where he runs away with the game.
Actually lock him. I think this is probably the one out of all of the extracts that you gave me which I'm the most eager to find out what it is. I quite like this one.
Ooh.
It was I don't know what it was about it. It was nice. It was slacker rocky. And as I've established before, I love my slacker rock. I thought I couldn't really tell vocal wise, so the guess is more so just sort of based on who I know you've been listening to in the not too distant past. Sunkill Moon, it feels a bit too positive to be a Sunkill Moon song, I'll be honest. It feels too happy. So it's probably not. Starlit Sky is something he said. Slacker Rock, as I say. 1995, that's too early to be a Sunkill Moon, I think. I initially had Red House Painters down, but I realised I have no gauge for what they sound like whatsoever, so it's probably a bit illogical to put them. Number 127. Not much of a reason. Yeah.
Well, it's 2.5 points, Chris.
Oh, thank you.
Because it is too early to be Sun Kill Moon. Which is why it's Red House Painters. Same guy. It's the same guy. This is called San Geronimo. It's off an album from 1995, as you've correctly said, called Ocean Beach. I've put indie rock, slowcore, indie folk, slacker rock is valid as well. As I said, I thought a lot of these choices today that I had made were very Chris-coded. I thought you'd enjoy at least a couple. I've only literally just listened to this album in the last 2 or 3 days.
Oh, cool.
Which is why it's quite low within the 200. I need to properly gauge my true feelings about it. But as it stands, if I ever chose an album to feature in my top 200 purely off of one song, it would be this one. Because this track, man, all 7 minutes of San Geronimo are heavenly. I mean, you say it's not bleak enough to be Mark Kozelek. Let me find you the lyrics.
Okay.
Like, it's not necessarily bleak. It's not happy. It's a very good bittersweet one. Here we go. Somewhere up 15 miles. Oh, let's load in. Somewhere up 15 miles, sifting through crackling vinyl, lost memories of my youth are coming into view. Between lost hills divide, quietly we sleep inside. Lost summers of my youth, I spent them all with you. Take ways by withered creeks, lizards sunning in the streets. Small kitten stretches through green empty yards you knew. Weekends in San Geronimo, love how the scarlet skies show. Weekend in San Geronimo, sentiment within me glows. And then the only other verse you get is, somewhere up 15 miles, barefoot on kitchen tile, where nights are warm and true, I'll spend them all with you. It feels like there is a longing for something that's ended, in my opinion. He's reminiscing on these youthful summers, and he remarks, I'll spend them all with you. I think back and I spent them all with you. Can you believe it? Every single one. And it sounds like he doesn't spend them with this person anymore. Maybe. This song, like, the chord progression is so unique, like the sort of the pre-chorus. And then I'm telling you, the first time you listen to this song in full, and the first time you get that repeated snare hit come in, you ascend. And this album in particular, this one album, in my opinion, is probably, to me, the best vocally Mark Kozelek ever sounds. He gets very close on Ghosts of... was it Ghosts of the Highway? Ghosts of the Great Highway?
Ghosts of the Great Highway.
Yeah, Ghosts of the Great Highway. He gets very close on that. I think it's potentially a less consistent album anyway. But I think he sounds really good on this song. He's got that sort of warmth that you would expect from alt-country American music to have. The only other thing I have to say is, the meme where it's like, heartbreaking, worst guy you know made good point.
Yeah.
It's like, because I know he's on the banned list, right? But the absolute devastation I felt when listening to this album, maybe this track in particular, and having a moment of, oh my God, at least in this album, because I haven't done any of the other horrible stuff he's done, I promise, or been rumoured to have done. I don't think I make women uncomfortable, but, it's not for me to say. the horrible moment where you are listening to this Red House Painters album and you say to yourself, "Oh my God, he might be me." It's a crushing moment when Mark Kozelek says things that you relate to. It's a crushing moment. The first 4 tracks, like that run on this album, are fantastic. If you want proper bleak, the first Red House Painters album, which is called Down Colourful Hill, which maybe you've seen the album art for. It's the bed.
The bed.
A couple of tracks on there are painful, really painful. There's one which I actually kind of wish we'd already discovered the album, because it's like, it is the perfect track to put on the first Idiot Twin LP. It's just him, genuinely, it's just him saying the most miserable things about turning 24. It's called 24. Let me very quickly, I know, we don't want to go on too long. I'll try and quickly find you the lyrics so you can hear the kind of miserable things he's saying. Just I'll find one example for you. Let me pick the best example. Here we go, yeah. Oldness comes with a smile to every love-given child. Oldness comes to rile the youth who dream suicide. Isn't that nice?
Lovely.
Yeah, that's proper. That's proper Mark Kozelek. That I'm not sure he's ever been happy, but anyway, I know you were a bit bummed to get a 2.5 score on this, but it's a really good 2.5. I think you should be proud for how well you deduced it.
Oh, that's provided a funny moment.
Yeah, we've had a couple in this one. Where are we off to? Here's where we're off to. From the absolute pits of despair to, it's not necessarily a positive song, is it? But
no,
they tend to be a band that make more positive sounding music, don't they? This is the Boys Who Like the Beach, the Beach Boys, if you will. It's That's Not Me. I said 66. I can never get my years exactly right. Doesn't matter how many times I see them. I can never perfectly remember them. So, I think that's when Pet Sounds came out, but we'll see. I said chamber pop. I'm thinking, if this is the version on Pet Sounds, if you're not doing anything sneaky, and it's like a hidden double, triple secret version from a bootleg album that has made it onto your top 200. I'm thinking maybe you've included it because Pet Sounds is now, deserves to be mentioned. It's ranking so highly. So I said 9th. I'm thinking maybe it's into single digits.
I think we've got our first 5-pointer of the game.
Excellent.
Almost everything I said. Beach Boys, That's Not Me. Baroque pop, chamber pop, yeah, not too far off. It was 1966. It's at number 14, so pretty close.
That's still amazing.
It is their album Pet Sounds. I think it's an interesting album for me.
That's an understatement. Oh, I see. For you, okay.
I sort of wanted to mention it from a point of I know that it's going to be an easy one for you to guess, and I've talked about them quite a bit. But I would 100% say that this is my favourite Beach Boys album. Smile is up there, or what we have of Smile. But I think I've gone through my period of really connecting with this album. I feel like it's interesting where you listen to an album. I think the first time I listened to this properly was in 2020. And I thought it was okay, thought it was alright, but didn't really gel with it. And I think what I'd probably say is that it was the first Beach Boys album I listened to. And when it's the first album of any band you get into, I think you associate their sound as being that.
You do, absolutely, you do. Yeah.
And I thought it was alright, but just didn't gel on me all that much. And it's only been in getting into them more and listening to a lot more of their albums, especially the Beach Boys today, where you sort of go, Pet Sounds isn't what the Beach Boys was then.
No.
It was completely new, very different. The songwriting was so much better than the Beach Boys today, on such a high caliber and so consistent as well. Like, there's not one song on here which you go, this is a dud. Like, it's all incredibly high standard. It feels like, from reading and listening to what Brian Wilson said about this as well, it is a situation of, let me lock in real quick. Like, that's genuinely not even a joke. That's what he did. He sat down and went,
it's genuinely what he did, yeah.
I'm gonna actually try and make a really good album.
And then just happened to make possibly the best album of all time at that point.
100% up there. Oh yeah, definitely at that point, yeah. And I'm glad I got that appreciation for it, because I think when an album is applauded as much as that is, I think it's hard to listen to it first time, not engage with it maybe as much as you want to, and sort of move past it perhaps. You need the context of at least listening to some of their earlier stuff to sort of understand where this fits in their discography, and maybe some of the bits after as well. I connect with this album so much. I think I wanted to use That's Not Me because it's the one which I feel like exemplified how much this album grew on me. It was the one which I really connected with upon re-listens recently. Sort of singing about I had to prove that I could make it alone, but that's not me. I think it fed into the idea of maybe having not so much high aspirations, but wanting to do things to prove to people that you can do things, or maybe just you might look at certain aspects of yourself and go, oh, I wish I was better at this. I wish I was more comfortable doing this, but that's not me. I'm not that.
Exactly.
And being a bit more comfortable with that idea is something, and it's an aspect of that song which appealed to me a lot during that time. And I think, look, it could rise as high as 9th. I'm not saying that this album's going to stop rising. I think for how important it feels to me now, I think it would, I couldn't really argue with putting it higher, basically. So, the most recent special album for me, perhaps.
I have nothing to add, because what you've said is so, personal as well. I think the only thing I could say is I think in any art form, there are certain creations, certain entries into, we use the word the canon, which is quite a loaded word, because, what is the canon? Is it the English canon? Is it the international canon? Can an English person define the international canon? Who knows? But there are certain entries into any art form that become so, not just iconic, but important. When you get to a certain maturity, you can't help but just go, yeah, wow. It's like, you think about art, you probably think of things like Van Gogh, the Sunflowers, or Starry Night. or if you're talking about film, maybe you think about something that Stanley Kubrick did, or like Casablanca or whatever. I don't know. I think the Beach Boys, Pet Sounds in particular, I think you have to look at that as just being incredibly important for the history, for the development of music generally.
100%.
And so, whilst the personal response makes it so much more poignant, that's how you connect to music. It's our own personal thing. I think it needs to be emphasised that no. This helped your music that you like today sound the way it sounds. I need you to understand that.
100%. Yeah. One of the most influential albums of all time. By far. I'm going to hop over to your number 8. Sounded like a Men at Work extract. We've had our fair share of these recently. Maybe it's Cargo, I don't know. He said Blue for You at points, and that felt like a title. Maybe of a song from a different artist, but I don't know. Pop rock / new wave. I feel like I was covering my bases there with Men at Work. 1987. And I put number 28 because if it is Cargo again, I feel like I can't remember if it was that high, but I could see it rising. Yeah, why not guess?
You are so close to matching a 5 point for a 5-pointer. I'm sorry. You are so close. It is 4 points, which is still obviously notable. Everything correct. Men at Work, Blue for You. I had reggae rock and one of my favourite genres I've ever discovered, Aussie pub rock, as alternative options for genre. 1983 is the year we are talking about Cargo. The only thing that you're not going to get the point for, it has risen. It's risen to 18th.
Oh, wow, gosh.
I think it is ridiculous if I try and look at it objectively that I have got a Men at Work album in my top 20. That is a bit amusing. What, the guys who did Land Down Under? Hell yeah, the guys that did that did Land Down Under. What are you going to do about it? It's just so important to me. It's important to me, damn it. It's Blue for You is, I've said this before, I know an album is, I'm in trouble, like with how good an album is when my favourite track on it keeps changing. Blue for You was my favourite for a long time. I don't really know what it is now. It's kind of settled down now where everything is just equal. But Blue for You always takes me somewhere. It is just like a reggae track in the middle of this album. It's fantastic. But lyrically, and his vocal performance is so gorgeous. He's got such a lovely voice. It's so powerful. But it can be really tender when it needs to be, and it is in this one. Because, he doesn't do anything, like we're not in sort of T.S. Eliot realm of poetry here or anything. But it's just the way he phrases things. I find it so effective. The bit I gave you was, what was it? Let me not waffle and make it up and embarrass myself after saying how much I like it, so let me have it in front of me. The sun, it still shines in, and I shall close the blinds, because I know I won't see you anymore. And it's the way he says it that just makes it feel so painful, it's especially effective because he opens the song by saying, sometimes the sun shines in and I close the blinds because I can't stand to see the light of day. And then he brings it back and he makes it even more obvious. And he goes, well, no, I'm doing it because I know that I'm not going to see you out there. So why should I see anything? It's a love song. It's a breakup song. It's a classic. He's not reinventing the wheel. He's just driving the car damn well, I think he's an amazing songwriter. I wish more people spoke about Colin Hay in that upper pinnacle of songwriters because he does deserve it. I very much liked something I read about this album when I was putting this together, which said, "Oh, it only sold, a measly 50% of copies compared to business as usual." That being said, 50% was still 5 million copies, and you go, okay, all right, yeah, not too bad then. I love Men at Work. I don't care that you're going to get 4 points, 5 points every time I use them. I'm still going to use them. I don't care. Because whether or not you're going to go out your way to listen to this album, I'll make you listen to a bit of every track before you do. So it's fine. Men at Work, my boys, they remind me of summer. They just get me. Colin Hay is me, man. And he's not even problematic, so I can say that one without fear of being cancelled. 4 points. Well done.
Thank you. Yes.
We are on to your number 8. This was an instrumental boy. Or girl, pardon me. I thought we're doing a Topster game and an instrumental artist that is on your radar anyway, but especially at the moment due to recent releases, are the Scottish Gentlemen Boards of Canada. So I said maybe it's them. It sounded like a sewer. I think if you were going to create a soundscape of a sewer, this would be a pretty good one. So I said it was called The Sewer. I said maybe it was their new one. Maybe it is a 2026 release. We'll see. I said dark ambient drone hauntology. You like Boards of Canada generally, so I said 103rd.
1 point for you. That is.
That stings.
Yeah, been a bit evil here. This is a 17-minute track.
You're allowed to be.
And I've used a section that's more sort of drony. Yeah, I've been a bit cheeky in that it's about a 17-minute instrumental track. And I've used a section that's just... well, it's about the first 3-4 minutes there is singing on it. But I've shown you this band enough at this point for you to guess them probably fairly confidently if I should play you any bit where they sing. So I thought I'll play you an instrumental bit. And not just from a point of trying to catch you out. I think a lot of their instrumental bits are very interesting as well. This is Yola Tengo. The track is called
God.
Night Falls on Hoboken. Post-rock / drone. The year 2000. Number 182.
Not much has changed, but they live underwater.
I'm just going to ignore that. Number 82.
It is
I
good.
said 182 there. Weird slip. Yeah, this is the first Yola Tengo album that's breached my top 100. And then nothing turned itself inside out.
There you go. It happened. It's finally happened.
I don't have much different to say about them. I wanted to maybe use something a bit different by them to try and show you their diversity as a band. Yeah, I think it's quite a nice ending to a very long album. Just quite sort of really calming and soothing at the beginning, and then gradually as it goes on it gets much more unsettling, and it's done at a very clever pace because it really takes its time to do it, and you don't even necessarily... It's the only thing I can really compare it to is maybe the first track off of Lift Your Skinny Fists by Godspeed You Black Emperor. It's called Sleep.
Yes, it is.
Storm? No, Storm, the first track, I think, actually.
Oh, is it Storm first? Okay.
In terms of that sort of gradual build-up, feeling quite eerie. Some clever stuff. Quintessential post-rock. Sort of vibes.
I'm going to put that on the Chris Whiteboard Game bingo sheet. I think I've mentioned this before, but one of the entries would have to be quintessential insert genre.
Yeah, I don't have much more to say. It's the first Yo La Tengo album I listened to, and probably made it hard to get into some of the others. I sort of look at them as a band and I sort of go, I don't really know where the best place to get into them is.
This is what I was going to ask, yeah.
Their album Summer Sun was the one that I liked the most first. I think it might be an easier listen than some of their other ones, but I think to me this album is their most interesting listen. I think it comes at an interesting point where there's a big mix of their earlier noisy stuff and their new sort of softer sound. But yeah, this is probably my favourite of theirs. Would recommend.
There you go. There's a very long Yo La Tengo compilation video for you waiting.
100%. I can't stop using them.
No, I know, but like you're gonna make some Yo La Tengo fans very happy when that does get edited together. It's inevitable.
On to your number 9. Number 9.
Gonna
remember to put in the positioning of this. I reckon this could have done fairly well. Let's put this position. I think I recognised who this was based off some listening that I've done of this person's stuff before. Only one album, but they've got a fairly distinctive voice, I feel.
Okay.
I believe this is by a musician called Jason Molina, who went under various different pseudonyms during his time. I think his most popular one was Songs O Higher, so that's the one that I've guessed. He said, "What could have been?" That is the title which I guessed. Folk/alt country. It feels... I think his genre generally is alt country.
Yeah.
So that felt right. 2004. And number 84. I feel like this could be one that's done quite well.
This is 2 points.
Thank you.
And whilst I haven't been naughty, I've done a tiny little prank on you. Just a tiny little one. Because this is Sun Kill Moon as well.
Oh, wow, okay.
Technically different. This is called Glenn Tipton, after the guitarist Glenn Tipton. Released in 2003. This is folk rock alt country. This is 162nd in the rankings, and this is Ghosts of the Great Highway. This is an album that has definitely done its fair share of the sort of 200 to 250 purgatory. And it was only when I was putting that Ocean Beach Red House Painters album on that I said, it was genuine. It was today. It was this morning that I was getting other things done. I was going around doing my tuitions, whatever. That I sort of had a think and said to myself, if I'm putting Ocean Beach in there, am I genuinely saying that it is a better Mark Kozelek project than Ghosts of the Great Highway? And I couldn't bring myself to do that. And so it had to go on. And then I compared it to all the other albums, and it just kept going up and up and up until it stopped there. I do not condone the at least allegations and rumours about Mark Kozelek and things, but it is quite unfortunate when someone like that does happen to have a knack for making quite good music. I am an individual who can overlook that. I completely understand why someone wouldn't be able to. I would hope that such an individual would not judge me for enjoying an album like this as much as I do. I think it is potentially, this is when I played my little prank. I said Ghost of the Great Highway isn't that consistent. I thought that for a very long time. It is only in the last couple of weeks that I've said, no, but I'm listening to it. I've listened to it so many times now that every single track that comes on I get hyped for. Some more than others, naturally. But that must mean it's fairly consistent. This song is the opener for the album, Glenn Tipton. And I'll give you a brief summary of what it is, because I think it's really, really, really well written. Then you get that beautiful outro. Some of his, you got some of his best guitar writing on this album. Let me get your lyrics up for you. So the first bit is him talking about, some old icons of boxing and music, and then he talks about how he's just like his dad because he likes to stay up at home, put his feet up on the table and watch films with Clark Gable. And his point is how fast does time fly? This used to be my dad doing it, now it's me. And then his third verse is him talking about he knew this old woman who owned a donut shop. And, it was amazing. But then one day she died and it's just not the same anymore. And gosh, how things change, how time flies. And you're thinking, yeah, it's a very sentimental song you got going here, Mark. Very, very sentimental. And then he gets to the last verse. And it is one of the most Mark Kozelek verses you will ever hear. Because, he's sort of a very sentimental writing, Mark. But I think the point is, if it is a metaphor in particular, this final verse, I think it is brilliantly written. Unfortunately, brilliantly written. Because what he says is, after all of this, his final verse, I buried my first victim when I was 19. Went through her bedroom and the pockets of her jeans and found her letters that said so many things that really hurt me bad. I never breathed her name again, but I like to dream about what could have been. I never heard her calls again, but I like to dream. And then you get the outro. Very Mark Kozelek, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
A metaphor about murdering someone. Regrettably, I think it's a great metaphor. And the final point I want to make here is that I would love, and I'm putting you on the spot because I'm saying this is recorded, it's going to be evidence. I would love it if Idiotwin could explore either a Glenn Tipton or San Geronimo cover. I think we do it really well. I'm just going to let that thought hang, and I'm going to give you your 2 points.
Okay.
And I'm going to move on.
Interesting. Okay, I'll have a think about that.
I think if we had live drums with them, I think, because Glenn Tipton, it builds, and you get the drums coming right at the end, and it's lovely. But then I can also hear that snare hit live in San Geronimo, and it gets me hyped. But I'll leave it to you. Have a listen. Let me know what you think when the time comes.
Yeah. Okay.
I think my answer for this one is going to make you chuckle. I hope it does anyway. I had this was a hippity rap song. It was hippity and it was rap. But it was not a voice I recognised. You're number 9. So because I didn't recognise who it was, I just tried to think of a name that hasn't shown up on this game before, and I put the bass god Lil B. I said it was called Make It Easy because the female voice said Make It Easy. I said 2000. I said cloud rap. I now know it's not your Joker, but that's what I put initially.
Cool. Let me have a look at the point haul for this one. I would say...
Oh, a haul.
It'll be 1.
Okay.
Good little B guess. I think that was a good guess because it was described as cloud rap.
I'll take it then. Yeah.
Rate Your Music. I think the album is off of generally. I wouldn't call it cloud rap, but
okay. Mm-hmm.
I can see why this track might get associated with that. This is by a musician who I won't be surprised if you haven't heard of, called Charles Hamilton.
Okay. No, that sounds like an American politician.
It's very sort of casual name, isn't it? I think. Romantic Vents is the title of the song, which I think is meant to be like venting about romanticism, as opposed to like air vents that are romantic.
When the imposter is sus, yes.
Cloud rap / pop rap. I think pop rap is generally more the genre of this album. 2009 is when it came out. It's technically a mixtape, actually. One that I've listened to recently, sitting at number 113, called Well, Isn't This Awkward? Where do I begin with describing this album?
I've never heard of this.
This is...
It's got a Sonic cover.
Yeah, it's got a golden Sonic. It's I think he made it. It's very
fantastic.
Like DIY.
Brilliant.
This is a concept album. And it's a concept album about pursuing a love interest, basically. But what if I told you that this love interest exists in the real world?
Ooh,
this mixtape is almost like a love letter to
that's so cute.
A musician in the real world. He never states, well, he implies it on one of the tracks, but he never officially states who it is. But everyone knows it's Rihanna, basically.
Oh, crazy! That's mental.
People have.
Have you seen the pictures of like the LeBron trying to shoot a 3-pointer from the moon and stuff?
That's basically it. Yeah. There's a track on the album called Re/Anna, which is actually quite an interesting concept of a track because...
Oh, yeah, it is, yeah.
I think within that track he raps about the concept of making his own version of Rihanna, basically, and he calls it Re/Anna. I'm going to get into the fact that it is quite weird.
Yeah.
I'll touch on the more normal points of it first. One of the things I think is so sick is, okay, so it's a love letter to this musician, and it's in a concept sort of fashion. It's almost sort of story-like. Well, what if I told you that every single sample on the album is a Rihanna sample?
You're joking. You're joking. This feels dangerously close to being grouped in with outsider music without having listened to it.
It could be outsider music if he wasn't very evidently musically talented. There's a track towards the end of the album where it's like a proper piano composition that he's written, and it's not like super basic. It's like actually fleshed out. It's musical, basically.
But it's just all Rihanna.
Last two tracks I think are quite interesting. I'm just going to highlight them quickly. He sort of ends it on the third track, and the last two tracks are meant to sort of be like hypotheticals of, well, so the track, the penthouse elevator is meant to be sort of like, okay, I've made it. I'm about to actually meet her. That's it basically. And then the last two tracks are like, what if it pans out this way, where it all goes wrong, basically, and what if it pans out this way, where it all goes right and it's all okay. I think it's quite an interesting way to end an album. Very creative, very, very creative and fun. Really interesting production as well. It's super compressed. I think that makes it. It feels very unique. It feels almost sort of vaporwavy, which is nice. I like it. At the time, you would have probably said, "Oh, it's just been mixed poorly," but I think it's cool. Now I'm going to touch on the fact that yes, it is incredibly weird and stalkerish. He was 100% an unwell man. He went as an undiagnosed bipolar for a long time.
I see.
He gained quite a good amount of traction and was getting popular, but he couldn't maintain any amount of fame because he just kept doing silly things. Because he just wasn't well mentally, and he hadn't been diagnosed. People hadn't intervened, or he hadn't taken himself to get himself sorted out, basically. And so he never gained the popularity that I think his talent arguably deserved. Incredibly creative guy.
He didn't gain the girl he deserved either, by the sounds of things.
No. She's with A$AP Rocky now. No.
Yes, so I hear.
Not awfully dissimilar from Kanye West, I feel. Charles Hamilton, just without the jump off the deep end, you might say. Yeah, I wanted to use the track Romantic Vents because I think it's my favourite usage of the sample. It's just very catchy, really. But I think the sample, it can be a bit weirdly jarring at points because I think he's sort of side-chained it to the bass or whatever, so when the bass is really loud, the sample gets really quiet. And it's not consistently leveled throughout. I actually tried making my own like remastered version where I try to make it sound like the sample isn't doing that. Just for my own personal wishes for that track to be a bit more normal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, really nice sampling on the album, really catchy stuff. I've been really enjoying listening to this a lot at the moment. Would heavily recommend for hip hop fans. It's good hip hop, man. Pop rap. So there you go.
I love music with a good story behind it, and my oh my, is this a good story? I think it's brilliant, and the fact that he's trying to win Rihanna over, and he puts Sonic on the album art.
Yeah,
like this will do it.
Yeah, why not?
And do you know what? I'm looking at the art. Have you seen the picture of like young Neymar giving a rose towards the camera?
I haven't, no.
Oh, look it up. It's the same thing. It's exactly the same composition, except it's Sonic giving a bouquet of pink roses. God bless him. Wow. Yeah, good man. Good effort.
Yeah. It's inspiring, perhaps. I mean, it didn't work out, but, still inspiring.
He did it his own way,
So here we are. We're down to the final
Here we are.
two extracts. The first one we're going to be talking about is Fred's. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Another sort of slacker rocky one. This was one which listening to I was a bit like, I really think I should know who this is. It sounded a tiny bit like Brave Little Abacus. Pardon me. I didn't guess them. I ended up trying to guess something that's a bit more in line with what I know of your tastes. I guessed Milena Cole. They've shown up a few times. I said it was called Perfect. They said that a few times. Yeah, noise rock / emo as well. Also put 2017. And I feel like this might be something which is doing it pretty well on your list. So I guess number 63.
Because it is near, well, it's beyond our bedtimes, and I'm feeling generous. I'm going to give you a point for noise rock.
Thank you.
Because it does get noisy. Now, you may have heard of this band. I actually hadn't, and then I was stunned to see how big a cult following it had and how well rated this album in particular is.
Ooh.
The kind of thing that I sort of, I look at and go, sorry, I haven't heard of this. And then what made it even more surprising was I said it to Dad, and he was like, who? And I went, you haven't heard of these guys? But then why are they so good? How can I not have heard of them? They're called Built to Spill.
Oh, okay. Cool.
This track is called Randy Described Eternity. It's from 1997. The album is perfect from now on. This thing is adored, this album. Indie rock, post-rock a bit, because it doesn't, like, the structure isn't, it goes all over the place. It's strophic in a way. Currently at 134th, with the possibility of going higher. Impressive insofar that in the last month, I have decided that it is fantastic, and it has moved up about 200 rankings or something.
Wow.
I don't know why I had it so low in my Word document, but it is amazing. Every single track brings something. There aren't really short tracks, but there is not a single second wasted on the album. I think a lot of people say that these guys are like one of the fathers of, and it's interesting because you use Yola Tengo. I think a lot of people point to these guys as well and say these guys are indie rock. These are indie rockers. They do it themselves. Of course, they end up getting the record deal as most of them do. And so whether it remains independent is difficult to say. But this is like a really authentic Built to Spill album. I think that's why people love it so much. I don't necessarily want to say too much, because I think if people are listening to this and they know Built to Spill, they'll be like, hell yeah. But I also, for your sake, this is the one I really want to recommend you. I just get the impression that you'll really enjoy this album.
Okay.
But maybe not. It's up to you. The story behind this track is gorgeous, and this is the last thing I'll say on it. Once again, let me just get the lyrics up. So I think the backstory behind it is, so the vocalist Doug March, he was told this story by someone who led his Christian youth group. And it was this story about trying to depict, you presume the guy's name was Randy, about trying to depict eternity, to get young Christians to understand, to even begin to grasp what something eternal looks or feels like. And it's this amazing metaphor. I'll read it to you. Every 1,000 years, this metal sphere, 10 times the size of Jupiter, floats just a few yards past the Earth. You climb on your roof and take a swipe at it with a single feather. Hit it once every 1,000 years till you've worn it down to the size of a pea. Yeah, I'd say that's a long time. And then it gets more transcendental. And it goes, but it's only half a blink in the place you're going to be. So it's saying that's going to take a really long time to wear this massive thing down to a pea. But that's nowhere near eternity, is what he's saying. And then the theme of the album comes out in it's not, I guess, second verse, I suppose. There are only 2 verses, and then it's this massive post-rock breakdown at the end. And this is when the lead singer, Doug March, he starts asking questions. He says, so where are you going to be? Where will you spend eternity? I'm going to be perfect from now on. I'm going to be perfect starting now. And he says a bit more after that. But I think the album's theme is him striving for this perfection. And then by the time he gets to the end of the album, he's asking himself or looking at himself, and he goes, I never had a chance of being perfect, and I've got to just accept that. Not in like a sad way, in just like this is humanity. This is what it means to be human, to be imperfect. And I've just got to say that that's okay. But I'm still going to try my best. I can't be perfect, but I'm still going to try my best. The absolute very final thing I'll say, because someone has apparently done the calculation of it, and that is amazing. So a fan has estimated that to do this feat of wearing this massive sphere down to a pea, it would take 1.125 times 10 to the 37th power years to perform it. Which, if the maths is correct, is quite a long time, but it's not quite eternity. So, yeah, I think you'll really like this album, Chris. No pressure, but, give it a go. 1 point.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. Yeah, I've heard of Built to Spill. I have to check them out, yeah. I'm amused by looking at their Rate Your Music page, and they have 2 members with very similar names. One of them's called Brett Netson, and the other one's called Brett Nelson. Very amusing.
That's why they got together in the first place.
Fantastic stuff.
Your last one. I was striving to think of an artist as to who this was, but I just kind of bit the bullet and I said, look, it just isn't, but it sounds a bit like Tame Impala. It sounds a tiny bit like him. So I wanted to think of something better, but I just kept it as Tame Impala. I said it was called Day to Day. I said 2010, Neo-Psych, and 67. There's nothing funny about that number, by the way. There's nothing funny about it.
Nothing whatsoever.
No.
Okay. So, at the start of the game, I used that Atlas sound extract. Bradford Cox.
No, you mentioned a band name. No,
because I've been quite interested in him as a musician, I thought I'd get into some of his projects. So I've listened to a bit of Deerhunter. This is Deerhunter. A track that's called Helicopter. Neo-Psych / it felt a bit shoegazy to me. I don't know why, but before getting into Deerhunter, I always sort of thought that they were a bit shoegazy. But from listening to them, I don't hear that at all, actually.
Okay.
2010, you're exactly right on the year. You get you're in with the positioning as well. You get 3 points. Very nice.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Good stuff.
Well, this is high, Chris,
number 71. I mean, I've listened to this quite a bit, but for the first use in the game, yeah. Halcyon Digest. I think the only way that I can really put any sort of comparison or describe the first listening of this is I'd compare it to when I first listened to Merriweather Post Pavilion by Animal Collective, which is one of my favourite albums of all time. I absolutely adore it. And the first time I listened to it, it was sort of like every single song was amazing. I really couldn't put any sort of point on any of it. I couldn't decide. This is the first time since then that I feel like I found an album where upon first listen I've gone, I can't fault any of these songs. All of these songs are brilliant.
It's such a special thing, yeah.
And it's not, I don't think it's so much from a point of I think, undoubtedly these songs are absolutely amazing, this is brilliant. It's more so from my own personal taste. There's a lot of slacker rock stuff on this album. I think that, to me, that feels like Bradford's sort of go-to sort of genre. You'll have like a song that's veering into like a more sort of neo-psych sort of realm, and then you get one or two that are back in the comfort cozy sort of slacker rock sort of sound. But I mean, they're all so well composed. I mean, I'm probably going to use a few more tracks from this album, so I'm not going to dive too deep on them, especially for time as well. So I'll talk a little bit about this track, Helicopter, which I probably would say is my favourite at the moment. It's quite it's a little bit like what you describe with that Red House Painters song, where the sound of it is really, really cool and like nice. It sounds nice, right? But the lyrics behind it and the idea of the track is really quite dark. I think the verse that I used, which felt like one of the more pertinent ones, he says, "Oh, these drugs, they play on me these terrible ways. They don't pay like they used to pay. I used to make it day to day." Just very depressing. No one cares for me. I keep no company. I have minimal needs. And the last bit, which I think is probably one of the more visceral things for me, and now they are through with me, which he repeats in the intro over and over and over again. Yeah, so a very deep and disturbing song. I really like the instrumental on the track, though. I think what I found is that Bradford Cox likes to experiment a lot with pitch shifting certain things. So with his guitar, for example, you get some octave pitch shifting, which almost makes it sort of sound like a bell, which is really cool. You get some drum pitch shifting stuff, which is really interesting, especially on the track Earthquake, which is the first one off the album. Yeah, just brilliant. I've been finding it very difficult to not listen to this album at the moment. I think it's absolutely brilliant. And would... I
mean, that's quite the statement of confidence, isn't it? I'm struggling to not listen to it.
Would highly recommend it. Again, we've mentioned slacker rock quite a lot in this game. There are a good few slacker rock songs on this album, and I think it's sort of... If you're looking for a slacker rock thing that goes in more of a psychedelic direction, Deerhunter 100%. I've listened to one of their other albums, I think it's called Microcastle. Didn't really do it for me as much.
Okay.
But we will continue venturing and see what Deerhunter has to hold. So there you go.
I think I've always got a bit muddled with Deerhunter because I think there's another band called Deerhoof. Deerhoof.
Interesting.
And they're just not the same band, but I never know which one is which. But now I know.
There you go.
One of them is a psych slacker rock band. That's ticked off one of the Deer mysteries in my list. Thank you. I knew as soon as you said Deerhunter, something in the back of my mind when you mentioned it, just in a throwaway little comment earlier, I just went, did you hear that, Fred? Remember that. Why is he dropping names? Yeah. It was 3 points.
Yeah. Well done. A good haul on that one.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So
there we have it. That's it. No more gaming. we're going to tally up our scores and tell you who won. And probably go to bed afterwards, because I think we're both quite tired.
Yeah, but, immediately go to bed, yes.
Yeah. I've got my score ready. Would you like a bit of time to do yours?
I also have. No, I've done it. I've tallied.
Nice. All right.
Let me give you a 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, gosh. Look how tight that is. That is as tight as a rubber band. That's really taut.
Fair enough.
Saved it. I got 20 and a half.
Yeah, really, really tight. Sorry, say it again. You got what?
I got 20 and a half.
I got 20 and a half plus 1.
Ooh, the pain.
Oh, well played, Chris.
Game.
Well played.
Very nice.
Really good game. Very even. I thought you might have won that one, but very even in the end. Personal highlights for me, reflecting on it, are hearing you cackle upon hearing that Blonde Redhead did the meme song. And my little cheeky Mark Kozelek double up. That's probably 200% more Mark Kozelek than most people want. But and also, very good episode for Slacker Rock fans, I think.
100%, yeah. Which we both are. So, ideal.
I wouldn't. I think you are the man out of us for Slacker Rock, but we both do a bit. But I think you're the man.
I do like my pavement, I must say. Yeah, no, really enjoyable game. My highlight would probably be me thinking it was Red House Painters and not putting Red House Painters. Another moment I have befallen that fate. But that doesn't matter. It's a game of fun, and we both enjoyed ourselves. Did you enjoy listening? We really hope you did. We really hope you found some new music. We really hope that if you happen to like Slacker Rock, that you found some new Slacker Rock to listen to, or you've listened to this and gone, you guys really picked the most basic Slacker Rock songs to use. Like, come on, guys. Regardless, we look forward to seeing you in the next episode of the Whiteboard Game. Hopefully we'll have seen you between then, maybe at some of our Idio Twin gigs. I don't know what our next theme is going to be. We'll have a think about that, and then you can...
We will have a ponder.
Find out. But yeah, for now, I've been Chris.
I have been Frederick.
And, well, if there's nothing else left to say...
I don't think there is.
Then I suppose all that there is left to say is... Whiteboard Game.